The movie begins with the local sheriff entering a home where many murders had occurred. 3 children and their babysitter were among those killed by a murderer with his bare hands. The story then shifts to Fernhill, Colorado, 125 miles away from the crime location. Jill Johnson has volunteered to babysit for an affluent family to make up for going over her mobile minutes. When she arrives, her parents show her around the house and tell her about Rosa, their live-in housemaid. Mrs. Mandrakis says they won't be returning until after midnight. Jill soon begins to receive anonymous phone calls from a stranger who, most of the time, does not say anything and then hangs up when the 2 children are sleeping upstairs. She initially feels it is a hoax by her pals, but when she contacts them, they deny it. Tiffany, Katie Cassidy, Jill's friend, stops by, but Jill urges her to go because she is afraid of getting into more problems. Tiffany is attacked outside as she returns to her car. Meanwhile, odd occurrences begin to occur, such as the house alarm going off for no apparent reason and knocking on the door when no one is around. "Have you checked the children?" the caller inquires of Jill. He then phones again and asks, "How were the children?" implying that he can see her. She phones the police, who inform her that if she can keep him on the line for 60 seconds, they can track the calls. Jill notices a shadow moving in the guest house while waiting for the phone to ring. She rushes to check, believing it is the Mandrakis' son who has returned from college, but she finds the guest house empty. Jill returns to the main house and seeks for Rosa, but all she discovers are her possessions. The phone rings again, and the caller on the other end remains silent as Jill manages to keep him on the line for a minute so the call can be traced. Jill then hears a shower running in the maid's room, but when she goes to check, the bathroom is empty. The cops then inform her that the calls are coming from within the residence. Jill leaves after discovering Tiffany dead on the toilet floor. Jill approaches the children, who are already huddled in their playroom. When she glances up, she notices the intruder in the loft. They all flee into the greenhouse and take refuge. Rosa's body is discovered under the sea by Jill. The visitor enters the greenhouse and searches it. Jill manages to keep him inside, but he escapes and assaults her. Jill manages to stab the assailant's hand into the hardwood floor with a fireplace poker during the altercation before fleeing the house into the arms of an investigating officer. Jill awakens to the sound of a phone call some days later. She gets out of bed and, as she looks in the mirror, the attacker comes behind her and grabs her. She starts shrieking violently, waking up from her hallucination while the doctors and her father feverishly try to calm her down. And that's a wrap on this week's movie review. Thanks for watching. Remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode.